This is Rating Descending,
where we watch IMDb's worst 250 movies so you do not have to.
I'm Michelle St. Clair.
I'm Abigail Ward.
And this week we watched The Hungover Games, a spoof on The Hangover 2009, The Hunger Games 2012, and other movies, TV series, etc. 4 men with hangovers after a bachelor party find themselves in a future dystopian kill or be killed game. Let's watch. You got it.
Oh, fuck. I was like yawning and about to sneeze at the same time.
Oh, I thought you were, I was going to say like snitting or something.
Snitting?
Oh, who knows? Sneezing and
knitting?
Shitting? Sneezing and knitting I like. That's a classic. Achoo! And then you have a sweater.
I know it's been the height of summer, but have you worn the beanie I made you yet?
No, it's been the height of summer. I can't imagine a hotter stretch of this particular summer in Melbourne than since we last recorded and you gave me the beanie.
Do something nice for the people you love, and
it was
they
a
just
nice thing
spit
to
in
do.
your face.
I look at it because it's right next to where I walk into my room. I look at it.
It's right there.
Yeah, I look at it every day and I go, "Oh, Abby made me
Wow,
bad."
look at the pom pom on that.
I know. I keep worrying it's going to come off, but I worry that with every pom pom on a beanie.
Okay, does it feel secure? Because I can secure it more.
It does not feel secure.
Really?
Well, we'll look at it.
Oh, I like sewed that shit in.
Oh, maybe it is secure. I don't know.
I think it is, but look, anyway.
Actually, I think it is, yeah.
I think I did fine. If it comes off, that's your fault.
Hey, I had 2 things I wanted to bring up for this opening, right?
Sure.
One was one thing that I did this morning, right before watching today's movie that we're not about to talk about. But before I did that, I ordered from Umbrella Entertainment, which is Australian-based distributor of, physical media, movies and such. I bought 2 things. One was a DVD of T Blockers, Alice Mayo McKay's trans movie from last year that I went to go see. Alice Mayo McKay. Mm-hmm. I got confused.
McMayo is the newest McDonald's release, right?
Not
it's
McMayo.
just a bun and mayo.
Alice Mayo McKay.
It's a bun, mayo, and a bit of lettuce.
Yeah, I got recommended the movie by honored friend of the podcast Shane Anderson. I went to go see it during its festival run. It was fucking great, fun little trans hangout slasher movie. Ordered that on DVD, but more importantly, in this context, is I also bought. They had just done a 4K restoration of Super Mario Bros, specifically including the work print cut, so a different cut of it. My pitch, when it comes out and it arrives in my house, we should watch it and then do a bonus episode reappraising it again.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it. And we can invite everyone over. I think Claude needs to see it as well.
Claude's got to see it.
Yeah, he hasn't seen it. What's he doing?
I can't believe we've gotten this far and Claude hasn't seen Super Mario Bros.
Well, I want to spare Claude from having to watch everything on this list, so I tend to try and keep him separate from everything.
I
tend to watch the movies on my laptop, so it doesn't even have to be playing in the living room.
That's good. I remember one time watching, I think it was like, I've watched a handful of them on my laptop, like in bed. I remember in particular watching Tube Light.
Yeah.
And
what a watch.
No one was happy at that bed. No. No one was happy at that bed.
Yeah, the only thing I've made Claude watch was Talk.
Oh,
and we fucking loved it.
Great.
It was great. And just like we still quote like "Let's ride," and then Nickelback "Someday" starts playing.
I think all the time about the Pepsi and Mountain Dew motorbike duel.
The Mountain Jewel.
Mountain Jewel. What was it? The Pepsi was the American good guy and Mountain Dew was the bad guy.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was so good. Like it was the female characters, right?
Yeah. That was the girl fight.
The girl fight. There's always a girl fight.
Yeah, there's always one girl on each team and they fight and it's so fucking hard.
And then they land in mud and it's so fucking hard.
Oh my God, that's nut. Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Nut.
That's right. That was the episode where I said nutting in my leathers. I'm nutting in my leathers.
There's a lot of dumb shit we've said in this podcast, okay? Like
we can't possibly expect to remember it all.
No, exactly. It's just rubbish that comes out of our mouths.
As we proved on the trivia episode, anything but the Human Centipede 2.
Anything but, yeah. I love when people approach me and they're like, they mention something I've said in the podcast and I'm like, I said what? That's nuts.
Sometimes I feel like people send me messages that are like responding to it rather than telling me the thing I said. They're responding to it, and I'm like, you have to tell me what you're talking
please.
about.
There's hundreds of episodes literally out.
Literally, I talk so much.
Yeah.
I can't remember all of it.
Yeah, we say some, and if you try and talk about jarting or shitting or whatever, that's pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
Jarting and jerping.
You know, when you were talking about jerping, which time?
Yeah.
All right, I jerp a lot.
And we talk about it all the time.
Who wouldn't? If you jerp as much as I do, you wouldn't stop talking about it either.
I jerp. He jerps. And then burp screaming. We all burp scream, man. That's the newest edition. I want the listeners to know that when Michelle does that, she really braces herself. She pulls herself back. And when she does it, she's got her fists clenched like she's flexing but towards her stomach. It's such a look.
Thanks. It's really quite muscular, quite masculine.
It looks excruciating as well. So
it doesn't feel great. Every time I do it, usually people tell me that it looks painful. And it's not that it's painful, but it's uncomfortable.
Listen, I wasn't going to the gym for a while because my period kind of fucked my whole life up. Like I was trying to skip my period, and then it meant that my period was just like always happening, and then I tried to not skip my period and it just kept happening, and then I would spot for a long time. Finally, I feel like it's back on track. It took 9 months to even it out.
Oh.
And so now I feel like I have more energy. I'm not fucking bleeding all the time. And so I've gone back to the gym because I feel more safe to go back to the gym. I was just like, I'm bleeding and I'm in pain all the time, and the last thing I would want to do is like go sit in a fucking gym in leggings.
Totally.
And so, but now I've gone back to the gym, and because it's been a while, when I first went back, I pretty much crippled myself because I just did what I did last time, and I was like, feels good. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, oh my God. Like I could barely get out of bed. Yeah. My arms and my legs were on fire.
Yeah, them dumbs, baby.
I got no muscles.
Dum-dums.
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 What are you saying?
Dumbs. Was it delayed onset muscle soreness?
Oh, I thought you were just talking shit.
No. DOMS. It's
right.
Yeah, that's
delayed.
I think it's delayed onset muscle soreness. I'm pretty sure the MS is muscle soreness.
It's always the next day.
That's the thing. That's what it is. That's the not the soreness at the time, but the soreness later.
You feel great at the time. You're like adrenaline rush, ooh, and
endorphins.
Then the next day you wake up and you're like, I feel fucking horrible. It got to a point where I'm just sitting down to fucking take a piss. I was like, ah. So I'm not doing it again ever. That's the end of my workout journey.
Speaking of the end of your workout journey, this week we watched the Hungover games.
Nonsensical.
Well, I mean, in many ways, it was a thing that prevented me from moving. But I will also say motivated me to move as far away from it as possible.
That's true.
What did you think? What's your opening stance? What's your opening volley?
Okay, here's my opening. This is my opening story, if you will. Because when I got to your place, just half an hour ago, I had just come off the back of watching this film, even though we watched it tonight. But I just watched it and I walked in and you were like, hey, and I think you could tell something was off about me. And the first thing I said was, I was like, I wanted to fucking kill myself. That was fucking terrible. I'm in a dark place.
I thought you were genuinely so upset.
You thought something was like genuinely wrong in my life. Yeah. Just the movie. That's how bad I found that experience. Like I came here like in a really bad mood. Not bad, but like not angry, just kind of like exasperated. I'm tired. Why do we do this?
I've never, it's rare that I'm this little motivated to continue doing the podcast.
It's harder to do this in summer. Again, I've said this before. I'm looking out your beautiful bedroom window, Michelle.
Thank you.
Blue skies, cute houses in a random suburb in the north of Melbourne. It's a stunning day, Saturday afternoon. And here we are. Here we are doing this. I would rather be doing it. Like there was a moment after I finished watching this, I grabbed my guitar to just play a little, and then I immediately thought, I really don't like where my life is at the moment. Oh, Michelle.
No. It was just the post Hungover games.
Right.
Glow.
Yeah.
I feel much better like a few hours on.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
You're not happy with your life when you finish this movie.
No. It made me question a lot of choices in my life. It also made me just feel really sad for everyone involved with the film. I think it was the kind of film you watch where
except Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah. But even then, you're like, except Jamie Kennedy, but you can tell that maybe now 10 years on, he's like, that was a low point.
He co-wrote and co-produced this.
Yeah,
There's no way I feel any sympathy for Jamie Kennedy in this.
I I just feel like it's the kind of film that, again, like you watch it and you're just like, I know that this was the low of every single person involved's career.
Absolutely.
Like this is something that they look back on with just shame and sadness.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt watching it, was shame and sadness on their behalf.
Absolutely.
So it threw me into a pretty dark place, Michelle.
There was a point I was watching it. I was maybe like 20 minutes in or something, and then my housemate walked in, having like gotten up and going about their day. She hadn't even looked at the screen. She hadn't acknowledged that I was watching a movie, and I couldn't, out of my mouth fast enough, yell, "Please don't judge me for watching this. It's for the podcast." I really don't want to watch this. And then she would have heard a while later, I thought I was reaching the movie's climax, and then I go to just check the time because I'm about to go to the bathroom, and I see that there is 45 minutes left. And from her perspective, she would have just heard a really loud, "Oh, fuck."
It's a tough day.
Yeah.
Tough episode, tough day. But hey, peaks and valleys, swings and roundabouts. Some days you get The Room, and then other days you get the Hungover games.
I can't remember if I've mentioned this on the podcast, but back in November, I was cut off my medication because of a shortage.
Vyvanse 50 milligrams.
Shortage,
yep.
Which should amend next month.
If you too have been affected by the Vyvanse shortage, please email us at ratingdescending@gmail.com so you can commiserate with Michelle.
We can't do anything, but I'll send you back an email that says, "Aw, sorry, ...
And then
smiley
like the
face."
shrugging guy that's made out of the slashes and brackets.
Yeah, I'll send you one of those.
Yeah. It'll make you feel better.
Since then, work productivity has been quite hard. This has been a week where I've managed to overcome that adversity, get a solid amount of work done, even extra work on top of that.
Nice. Has your sleep improved? Is that why?
I mean, partly.
Your sleep's getting better?
My sleep has been better.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I have a lot of sleep trouble in general, so my sleep has a pretty low ceiling on how good it can get.
How many hours do you get a night?
I actually get a good amount of hours. I usually get 5 to 7.
That's still below what a lot of people get.
Yeah, but
like 5's not great.
Well, 5's not great.
5 is what I get, and I used to do that all the time, and then I was like, maybe this is contributing to my bad mood and low energy.
Yeah.
And it probably was.
It's usually more. It's more close to 7. This is. Let's do the key details.
No, let's get to the bottom of this.
I just had a moment where I was like, what are we doing?
Well, we're chatting. What, you want us to talk about this?
We have to talk about some of the information about this.
Don't make me do it, Michelle. Tell me more about your sleep habits. How's your sleep hygiene?
Listeners, I saw such genuine fear. No, I'm still seeing such genuine fear in Abby's eyes.
It's bringing me back to a dark place. I felt really happy coming here and talking to you about other things, and now that we're getting into it, I just don't know if I'm ready. I just don't know if I can actually handle it. Like this, I'm in a crisis. All right, like I'm in a bind, and I've got my back to the wall.
Do you know how many more fucking parody movies we have to do? We can't. We're 84 movies left. 83 after this episode. You know.
Oh, it's just so tough.
Yeah.
Is Meet the Spartans on the list?
No, we talked about this last time. Okay. The only parody movie you remember is one that's not on the list.
Yay, because that was horrific as well.
I know, but I do. But that also means that that all of the ones that are worse.
Yeah. So tell me more about sleeping and stuff. So what happened?
So the Hungover games came out.
Wait. Before we get into it. So you were saying that you were working more and you had a really productive week, and we're talking about the Vyvanse.
It's directed by Josh Stolberg.
So why don't we just go back to that and we'll talk about mental health, and we'll talk about like ways to improve your sleep hygiene.
As far as I can tell, no relation to Ed Begley Jr.
Don't make me do it, Michelle.
Russ Nathan.
Fuck, you're cruel.
Herbert Russell. They played the main three. Couldn't find almost anything about them.
Yeah, I've never seen them before in my life.
No, I did look up Ben Begley to check if he was the son of Ed Begley Jr. He's not. Oh. He isn't. But he was in a bunch of writers' rooms and stuff, which makes me feel so much worse. Rita Volk, she's the one who played Catnap. She was kind of interesting. She's Uzbekistani, moved with her family to America when they were like 5.
Nice.
She did like modeling and acting when she was in high school, and then she was in university doing like pre-med, so she was on pathway to be a doctor.
Smart and beautiful.
And then she dropped out to do acting, and this was her debut feature.
Did she continue acting?
She's in 3 other movies over the last 10 years.
Did this movie like break her spirits when they kept asking her to take her top off, and she clearly kept being like, can I not? Do I have to? Can we find workarounds where you do a shot of my tits, but it's clearly someone else's tits because I don't feel comfortable? Did it break her spirit, Michelle? Like it broke mine.
It's also starring Jamie Kennedy. Also meaning
fuck Jamie Kennedy,
returning
man.
actor. Fuck Jamie Kennedy.
I'm so resentful towards him for potentially bringing this into life, bringing this into career.
Honestly,
him.
I do think a recurring theme in this last 100 is fuck Jamie Kennedy. I know we're seeing him at least one more time.
Really?
What I'm curious is if we're going to see him yet again.
God,
I fucking hate Jamie
the unexpected
Kennedy.
villain of this podcast being Jamie Kennedy. If that ends up being the case, what a twist.
Yeah.
We didn't see him coming. At the beginning of the podcast, I kept saying I wanted to brawl with Tom Green, but it was actually Jamie Kennedy that I should have been wary of. Wow.
The idea, I hope he snipes it from Stallone. I hope he takes it.
Yeah, Stallone doesn't deserve to be at the okay, no, he does.
He does. But
I don't want him to
He's the hero's champion, you know?
Fuck, man.
But also returning actor Jonathan Silverman, who played the Seneca Crane stand-in.
Yeah.
What was the character's name? Chinnika Lame.
Yeah, he's like the guy with the crazy beards.
Isn't that funny? Chinnika Lame?
So funny.
Instead of Seneca Crane?
I love it.
Pretty funny.
So good.
Pretty funny. He was also in Caddyshack too.
Right. Who did he play?
In Caddyshack?
Yeah. Sorry. I think Michelle felt disassociated for a second.
You asked me a question and you weren't there.
I wasn't.
You were gone.
Looking away.
He played Harry.
Great.
You asked me.
Oh, is Harry the guy that has a crush on her?
I don't fucking know.
The main girl, the girl that we liked, Kate. I think he did. He was like the guy that gets the beer at the beginning, or like the
a caddy at Bushwood Country Club.
Yeah, he's the guy that has a crush on the main girl. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Wasn't that the main guy who did that?
What? The main guy? The main guy was having sex with the girl.
I guess it was Jonathan Silverman.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that's fun. Okay, that was a fun sequence.
Wow.
The budget for this, I couldn't find.
Okay.
I'm going to try and look it up again live. I found a really dodgy website that suggests that it's $78 million.
I don't think so.
It isn't. It absolutely isn't.
I reckon it is.
Another website is saying 55 million. Oh, no. I think that's the budget for semi-pro. For some reason, when I look it up, there's a comparison between Hungover Games and semi-pro. You know, the isn't that the John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell basketball movie?
Oh, yeah.
You kept shaking your head at me, but you knew the fucking answer.
No, not saying that you were wrong. I just didn't know.
I love that this website, for some reason, it gave me a direct comparison. I didn't ask for a comparison with semi-pro. That was the first one that came up. There's no information about the Hungover Games with which to compare it to semi-pro.
Guess we'll have to move on.
But the box office was $332,000, $977 entirely from video sales.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Like, did it not come out in cinemas?
I don't think so.
Was it direct to movie? Like direct to DVD?
I mean, yeah, I think like video on demand kind of thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Amazon Video on Demand.
Oh my God, why did this get
Why
made?
is this getting compared to semi-pro? Yeah, the estimated domestic DVD sales was $243,967 and the domestic Blu-ray sales, $108,696.
Why was it made? Like, what was the
Jamie
purpose?
Kennedy. The worst Kennedy.
The Kennedy that should have been assassinated.
They say that the Kennedys have been assassinated, but there's one left. I know there's more than one left. There's like one who's not quite running for president anymore. He's weird. He's a weird guy.
Oh, which one is that?
Oh,
is that another Ted Kennedy?
No, he's the one, because there was the one who was like, I think Ted Kennedy's son. It was John Kennedy III, who was like a rising star in Democrat circles for a while, and then he lost an election because he's a fucking liberal goon. But no, this is a different Kennedy, who I can't remember which Kennedy, but he's an older guy who's like anti-vax but considers himself a Democrat. Yeah. And they were like, he's going to present a real challenge, but he's a fucking dork, so no, he didn't. But he played into QAnon, because part of the thing was he was going to be there at the rebirth of JFK.
Holy shit. I wish we had... Can we talk about that instead?
No, because I don't know enough. I don't remember enough.
Remember Jeb Bush? What happened to him? Jeb Bush.
Yeah, you never got Jeb fever?
Oh, not for me personally. No, I didn't.
I mean, me neither, but you know. And neither did America, ultimately.
Jebediah.
Jeb. Anyway, here's the overview.
Yeah. I'll just mentally detach for a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch you leave your buddy for a moment. 4 friends throw a bachelor party for their friend Doug before his wedding in Nevada. When they wake up, they realize they have moved through time and or dimension, unclear and it kept changing, and awake on a train headed for the Hungover games without Doug, having drunkenly volunteered the previous night. When they arrive, they meet the tributes from the other districts who all ostensibly represent different Hollywood factions, such as horror, Johnny Depp characters, gay Thor, and puppets. The next day, the games begin, and one of the friends, Zach, becomes separated from the other two, Bradley and Ed. Ed and Bradley sleep in a tree as the other tributes kill each other before dropping mutant wasp Swagger Jacks onto an alliance of the strongest and Zach. Abby, you can't leave me to do this alone. After being nursed back to health by Zach, they discover that Zach used a midnight berry air freshener in their room back in Nevada, which has a side effect of sending people to futuristic dystopias. I'm going to make this take longer if you don't engage with me. This could be our longest episode.
Okay, all right.
If you're going to play ball, baby.
Let's do trivia. Let's go.
Despite being mad, I'm not even done with the overview. Despite being mad at Zach, they make up and also meet up with Catnip Eveline. Pretty funny.
So funny.
Pretty funny.
So good.
A 17-year-old whom Ed continuously flirts with. As the other tributes, including...
And shows her tits at the end.
And shows her tits at the end. They keep making jokes. At the beginning, she says she's 17 and he's not into it. And then the next time she says she's 17, he is into it and is trying to ignore it.
Yeah, and then at the end, he's like, she was my soulmate. It doesn't matter that it could be statutory rape.
Yeah, I think she said you can't statutory rape your soulmate.
Yeah, and that's also after he considers having sex with her dead body. Let's keep going.
Yeah. As the other tributes, including Catnip, get killed off, they realize where Doug is and find him, which is just right at the beginning, sort of. They refuse to kill each other and instead consume midnight berries, believing they will be prevented from doing so. However, instead of killing them, the berries return them to Nevada, allowing them to rapidly drive to Doug's wedding in time. Also, the wedding is gay, and that's really funny.
Yeah.
It's really
Punchline
it's
City
really funny.
Over here.
He is gay.
And that's so funny.
And let me tell you, his husband is as a real homo.
Super camp. You know his husband?
My son the homo.
My son the homo. Jimmy and his pimp Billy or whatever. You know the guy that plays... Tracy, which is also a very effeminate name for his gay husband.
Oh my god,
Tracy, like that's Sam Pancake, and Sam Pancake is it's a great name, and it's his real name. His sister is called like Sue Pancake.
Cool.
Yeah, it's his real.
Did
surname.
they invent pancakes?
Don't think so. But Sam Pancake is in everything. Sam Pancake is in Curb Your Enthusiasm, is in Arrested Development.
I totally recognize him.
Sam Pancake is also a really good friend of Karen Kilgariff
I
from My
didn't know
Favorite
that.
Murder. She talks about Sam Pancake all the time.
Well, that's really fun.
Apparently, he's a lovely guy.
Aw, I believe that.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he is gay in real life.
He's in Arrested Development.
Yeah, I just said that.
I know. But he's the gay assistant / gay soldier that tries to sue.
Yeah. It's so fun. He's so funny.
It's very funny that I said my son the homo because his line of like, it'll be a long time before he calls someone private homo again. That's etched into my brain.
Well, he also has a podcast, Sam Pancake, which I now want to listen to. And it's about made-for-TV movies from the 70s.
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah, I really want to watch. I really want to listen to it. Yeah, I think it's called like Movie Night Monday or something. Monday Movie Night. I can't remember.
Hey, everyone who's listening to this, go look up Sam Pancake and listen to his podcast.
It sounds fantastic.
All that you're going to get out of the rest of this episode is pain, is our pain. And if you like that, if I see that this episode has the same amount of downloads as the rest of them,
we'll be disappointed.
I'll know exactly what it is that the audience likes.
Yeah.
So tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Don't finish this episode.
Don't even come here.
Don't
click on this episode, man.
What was the Twilight joke, the edging joke that we made of like, I don't want you to come.
Yeah, that's right. Don't come. I don't want you to come. That's right. Yeah. Can I first thing I want to say about this film?
Yeah. It really just begins, by the way. There's no production logos whatsoever.
Yeah. When you're making a parody of something.
As I do.
Usually doesn't work very well when you parody a comedy. It just doesn't work very well.
Mm-hmm. This has been my whole thing about Scary Movie. Scream is already quite funny.
Yeah, and you make a point. But like Scream at least has enough dramatic elements that made it really unique as a horror film.
Yeah.
But that it is a satire. But then like the fucking, oh my God, the fact that like they took the Hangover, and turn it into a satire. The Hangover by itself is a really funny film.
Yeah.
Zach Galifianakis basically made his career in that film.
Yeah.
It was quoted for years. Guys would go to Halloween parties dressed up as that crew because they were also distinct and visual.
Yeah.
And so this film
convinced us that he could lead movies for a few years because he was in there, and he can't.
I rewatched The Hangover in like 2020 because I was like writing a film about like people on a quest over one night, and I was like, great film to watch to like get me into the mood for it because it's a fantastic, one night quest kind of thing or one day quest kind of thing. And I had a great time rewatching it. It was funny. It hit the right comedic beats, and it was really distinct. And I watched it, and I thought, I completely understand why this like grabbed everyone in 2008 or whenever the fuck it came out. So to parody it, the only funny bits of the film was just the groundwork that The Hangover had already laid.
Totally.
Like all of the funny like quotes that the Zach Galifianakis character said, that's what he would have said in the real Hangover, which means that it's not funny because you're not like, oh my God, imagine this serious character. It's like, imagine we take Schindler's List and we make it a satire. That would be strange because you'd be like, wow, now fucking like Oscar Schindler is really funny.
Sure. I think that I would maybe have some qualms with that movie. But yeah, I get your overarching point.
You wouldn't go see...
it's an interesting pick for you to go to.
Swindler's Fist.
Whilst it is commendable that your go-to dramatic movie was Schindler's List, I also think it's not the movie that I would parody.
Michelle, we're talking in hypotheticals.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Well, I guess it's a movie that discusses your people more than mine.
My people? Whoa. I don't
take back what I said.
That's fucked. My people?
Uh-huh.
We're all people?
Uh-huh.
Like animals?
Yeah.
Trying to hurt us?
No.
Wow. You think us Jews are all into tribalism, huh?
That's
fucked up. In this climate?
You did it.
Really?
You managed to do it. You did it. You pulled it off. You found a way to turn it around.
Can I just tell you a quick story though? I think this is the funniest thing ever.
I don't think I can stop you.
I have to omit names because these people exist and my husband knows them. But Claude was at work and they had this like afternoon quiz, and one of the girls, they had to it was almost like a guess who this is thing, celebrity, who is it?
Yeah.
Celebrity heads, and it was Donald Trump.
Celebrity, who is it?
Celebrity, who is it?
Guess this.
Don't let me ever make a game myself. And the answer was Donald Trump.
Okay.
And she was trying to explain, trying to set it up, and she just kind of stopped and she went, they're basically like one of the most hated people in the world.
Don't.
And Claude's office is predominantly Jewish people, and they all kind of sat in silence and they were looking at each other because the girl who asked the question was Palestinian, and she just happened to be Palestinian, and everyone just sat in silence.
There's no way that's a twist I expected coming.
And everyone was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, and then she clarified and she was like, "People do not like them." And they were like, them? And she was like, him. And they were like, oh, thank God. It was like, he was like, the air was pregnant in that room. They're basically one of the most hated people in the world.
Fuck. Yeah, okay. So in this
that's how
movie,
it felt just then for me. It was my lived experience with you.
I'm so glad, because at the end of that story, everyone was fine. Everyone was fine. Everyone was okay.
Michelle, I've got a quarter Jew in me, and I'm gonna milk it.
Half? You're half Jewish.
I actually am half Jewish. Yeah, I keep forgetting.
That's part of the arc.
I got a half Jew in me, and I'm
you've
gonna
been calling
milk
yourself quarter Jewish for so long that you're half Jewish.
Yeah. The quarter Jew thing is hard to drop when you've done it for so many years.
Yeah.
Where are we?
We're at the beginning of the movie. Really just begins.
Boring. Have you got some trivia?
No. One of the things this movie establishes quite early on is that it clearly hates the Hunger Games because it's for teen girls.
Yeah.
Because the Zach Galifianakis stand-in is reading it, and then they're like, oh, glad you're having a good time in like fucking middle school, and I don't like it because I have testicles. And I'm like, so that's the stance of this fucking movie? That's
Which
the
is
fucking
so
stance
funny,
of this movie? Considering
this was a film that was made for adult guys to perv on young girls as well.
Totally. The opening crawl begins with an explanation of the Hungover games, and then it's like Hollywood in penance for their lack of creativity. I'm like, bold stance from this
fucking movie.
From this fucking movie.
Oh my god, did they really think they were punching up? Like, did they really think they were like attacking things that deserve to be attacked?
We got them.
Oh man, how can we perfectly express that this thing young women enjoy is futile and stupid?
Well, so they're like, they repeatedly talk about how everything is like sequels and adaptations, and like apart from the Hunger Games, which again is an adaptation and a franchise that ended, like The Hangover is an original movie. This movie parodies Carrie, which is,
I don't know, man.
Like it parodies Django, which is again it parodies a lot of movies that are quite original.
Yeah, it did.
What is it? What is it talking about?
I don't know, man. Is it just parodying any film that had come out in the previous 2 years? Was that what it was aiming for?
I think what happened is that one day Jamie Kennedy dropped, like his bookcase fell over and a bunch of his DVDs fell out around the place, and he went, these ones.
Yeah.
That's the only conceivable thing I can think of. I think he stuck his hand in one of those like bargain bins where it's like 2 for $2. And then he pulled out a movie and then he was like, The Lone Ranger, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuck his hand in and then brought it out and was like, Ted.
Yeah.
That one.
And like, God, and the cast was shocking. Imagine being the guy that played the Bradley Cooper character and being like, I'm the guy that played the Bradley Cooper character in the Hangover, like, satire and parody, and I don't have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Do you reckon he looks in the mirror and smiles?
No. I think anyone associated with this is haunted, just like I am.
I think he wishes he could, you know? Really, the one that makes me the most sad is seeing Tara Reid. Tara Reid's, like, 2010's parody movie arc depresses me. If she's happy, it makes me less sad.
I'm sure she's very well off financially. Yeah. She's made a lot of money.
Then that makes me less sad. But, like, it's just, I'm like, you were in movies, man. You're in real movies.
Would have been around the peak Sharknado time as well. I think Sharknado had just come out.
She was in several Sharknados. We watched the first, I think, 4 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was in 5 or 6.
Okay.
I cannot neither confirm nor deny.
She finally had a limit. Yeah. It's time to walk the Sharknado
I think we really have done quite a few Sharknados at this point, boys.
Oh, man. And then also they had the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that popped up.
I think it's fun to at least get the real ones.
Yeah, they had the famous one. What's her name? Kyle. Her name's Kyle. She's the brunette housewife.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I watched the first 2 seasons of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so I'm pretty across it.
There's a lot of reality TV stars because, I mean, also the hosts of the thing, there was Hank Bassett, which was Kendra from the Girls Next Door. It was about 3 of the more prominent, like the matriarchs of Hugh Hefner's Playboy Bunny Mansion.
Oh.
And one of them, Kendra, she married Hank Bassett, a footballer, and then they got their own spin-off show called Kendra, which ran for 2 seasons, and then got a second spin-off called Kendra on Top. I guess the difference was that she was on top.
Right.
And then they filed for divorce after scandalously Hank Bassett cheated on her with, and every news article specifically goes, a transgender model. And I'm like, that doesn't make it more scandalous. Shut the fuck up.
What? Who's the model?
It doesn't say. It never says. Because she's not a person. She's a scandal and a sex object. Anyway, now I'm getting mad about this. I know all of this because my mum really liked, Kardashians and really liked the Girls Next Door and then Kendra because she fucking hated them. She really hated
that's
them.
why I watch all of it. I love just shitting on them. I mean, like The Real Housewives, you watch that franchise, and some people might watch it because they love the luxury, but I love to watch it because I'm like, these people are so detached from like reality and humanity. And The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, though, really did go off. And it was mostly for Camille, who was in this film. Camille was the blonde in the purple dress.
Oh, sure.
And she was married to Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, you told me about this.
And
because I was so shocked that he's in the fucking show.
Yeah, so was I. She was like, my name is Camille. I live in Beverly Hills and my husband is Kelsey Grammer. And I was like, excuse me?
Sorry, what?
And it's this tragedy because in season 1, she's like, Kelsey's always in New York and, we're trying to get him established there. And then the next season, she has found out between the seasons that Kelsey had a second family in New York and they were going through a horrible, bitter divorce.
That baby heard the blues are calling.
Oh, dude. And there was also another housewife in the first season of Beverly Hills that had this really silent, creepy husband. And between season 1 and 2, he hanged himself because it had come out that he was beating her.
Oh my God.
And so in season 2, she was grieving a dead abusive husband and was trying to keep it on the down low. But all the other wives were like, are you okay? Like, you know that meme of that woman screaming at the table and the cat on the other side screaming back?
Yeah.
That's from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And the woman screaming is the one who lost her husband.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and she's screaming about that situation. So the story behind that meme is really dark. She's screaming about, she's like, you don't know what I went through.
What about the cat?
Well, it just wanted some biscuits. Little bisqueenies.
Little bisqueenies.
For the little kittens.
Before we move on, I gotta say, seeing Caitlyn Jenner in this was a real jump scare.
Yep.
And
yeah,
also,
I couldn't figure out who it was for a bit. I was like, who is that?
I was like, wait a second. I sort of recognized that face. And I was like, I was right.
The blue lipstick was really getting in the way.
It was. It was the main thing getting in the way. It also feels like, for me, it always feels rude when I see an actor who has transitioned in a movie pre-transition. Like, in a way where I'm like, you're publicly interfacing. But it's like, you know, I know that there are like photos of me pre-transition online around.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't hurt me with them, but I'm like, if you see them, just pretend you didn't. That's rude.
I think it's tough when you are in films where you can't control the distribution.
Like, I'll still watch movies with Elliot Page in them.
Yeah.
Prior to that point, but at the same time, there's a point of confrontation that I think is mostly for trans people, where it's like, this feels a little rude.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to overwatch these.
I feel like luckily that's a very celebrity specific problem
totally.
that probably only hurts like 1% of the no, not even like 0.01% of the trans population. Luckily,
impacts 8 trans people.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Like... all 9 of them must be furious.
But Jamie Kennedy was in this as 3 different characters.
I know.
And it contributes so much. Like, I'm becoming in many ways both furious but also obsessed with how confidently not funny Jamie Kennedy is.
Yeah, because Jamie Kennedy played Willy Wonka, right?
Willy Wonka. Which, this is not even the only time we're going to see a Johnny Depp Willy Wonka parody on this list.
Oh my God.
He also played, you know, the what's the Project Runway guy parody?
Yeah, his real name's
Gunn?
like Tim Gunn, yeah. Make it work.
Make it work. And then there's a bit where I wrote it down, he says, make it work, and then he turns to whoever he's with and is like, that's my catchphrase, make it work.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
Yeah.
What's the joke?
Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy, what is the joke?
Yeah.
Do a joke. Do one. There was one joke.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Tell me.
Tell me about it. I have so many more notes, but you look like you're fading so fast.
It's just everything about this movie is demoralizing to watch, let alone to have to talk about. But go on.
It also, by the way, continuously misunderstands the Hunger Games because it will then go like, don't worry about it. It's just a plot hole. And it does that like 3 different times about Hunger Games plot lines.
And where does it get off?
You just don't understand it. It's okay. You didn't read it. You didn't watch it. You didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's fine. That doesn't mean it was bad. There was one stone cold joke towards the end where they're giving the speech to Doug because they find Doug, but Doug is mad because he's like, I didn't get any lines, I don't have any personality and all of that. And they're like, no, that's a good thing. You know, without you, there is no jokes. You are who we reflect off of. And then he says, you may be a gay man, but you were the best straight man we've ever met.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's a stone cold
That was actually
joke.
Good.
That's a good line.
Yeah. I agree.
I want to use that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like the one original joke they were able to produce.
Oh my God.
Really what they did is that they took all of Zach Galifianakis' best lines from The Hangover and remolded them into other comedy beats for this film.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we did it. It's funny. It's funnier now. Because we basically reshaped a joke that some other talented team of people wrote.
This is what I mean. The Swagger Jacks are parodying the Tracker Jacks from Hungry Jacks.
Keep rhyming, Michelle. You're on a roll.
The Swagger Jacks are Tracker Jacks from Hungry Jacks.
And they say white people can't rap.
But like, what is that? Also, it's 2014. You're a little late on Swagger by like 4 years.
Yeah, fully.
Come on. Get with the fucking times, man.
And look, this should go without saying, and I kind of told myself I wouldn't bother to talk about it, but as we're strapped for things to talk about with this film, or for me at least, the fucking the underage girl was fucked. And then also, like, usually when we watch bad films and there's just the classic mid-2000s, like, women have, like, every girl has their tits out thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. Like, that's bullshit, but it's, like, clear misogyny, so it doesn't need to be talked about. But there was something about this film that just kept rubbing me the wrong way.
Totally.
It wasn't even like, girls have their tits out. They were, like, pornographic actresses that literally were, like, making out all the time and touching each other's tits. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I think I would have realized I was both a woman and a lesbian sooner if that wasn't the presentation of female sexuality that I had to grow up with in cinema.
Because it's completely from a male perspective. This film was made by a bunch of men, and it is clear just objectification of women that have no control whatsoever on the set. And that's why with the girl that played the main character, who is underage, the actress probably isn't,
she's
but the
23
character
at the time.
Is meant to be underage.
So weird.
And then you've got this weird blurred line of like, well, the actress was overage, but the character was underage, and you kept wanting to see her tits the whole time. And then at the end as she's dying, she's like, I want to show you my tits. And you're meant to be like, it's so stupid, it's funny. But again, you do it at the cost of women and not men.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Like, what
when
is
you
the
make
joke?
these jokes, when you use women's bodies to make a joke about how stupid this would be, you're still making the woman the laughing stock.
Yeah.
You're not really laughing at male sexuality. You're all being like, that is what it's like. Women are hot, bro. And I want to see that 17-year-old's tits. I cannot stand it. And I really hoped it wouldn't make me annoyed, but it made me annoyed. And I'm allowed to be. I'm allowed to be angry at this.
I'm laughing because this is such a good speech. You're so passionate and you're right about all of it. It's just I had a moment towards the end where you're having such a great close on that, where I remembered we're talking about the Hungover games.
This is why I was like, I don't want to put any time into it, but I can't say nothing, you know? This is...
Now, not to this movie's defense, because it's not, but this was the unrated version. So as it was originally released, you know, there'd be slightly less boobies.
I don't care. And this is the kind of shit where men are like, it's harmless. It doesn't mean anything. The joke is that it's stupid. And it's like, why did you choose to include it? Let's really go into it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't you trying to like debunk or like you basically like throw off the veil of how women are treated in cinema. You're not doing that. You're playing into it and you're profiting off of it.
When the guys are like that, I'm like, name the women you're friends with.
Yeah. And just tell me like, and if you say that you actually respect women because you know them, case closed. Case motherfucking closed. But like all these men that do claim that they're doing it for comedic purposes, you can tell us whatever bullshit you would like to tell us. It doesn't mean we have to accept it because it's not true. You're lying to us. Okay, rant over.
Now, before I go into the trivia, because again, that was a great rant, I do want to add in, there was the bit where they try and they do the Hunger Games symbol thing, the hand gesture, but instead they do the shaka.
Yeah.
That's the true rating descending all-star. Do you want to hear some trivia?
Yeah.
IMDb trivia. There's barely any trivia, but I did manage to scrape some together because no one cared enough about this movie to write about it.
Imagine if someone had to talk about it for an hour.
I think you'd get pretty mad. When the Hungover Games, this person's just mistyped it. When the Hungover Games control room computer system crashes and is subsequently rebooted, the Microsoft Windows 3.1 logo appears under the translucent touchscreens, which I did notice. And I was surprised at how much they didn't talk about it because normally this is the kind of movie where they come up with half a joke and they go, oh, that's it. And then
they make the characters point at the joke to be like, do you see it?
Look at that. The joke. It's over there. And I'm like, no, you have the premise of a joke. You don't have a joke yet.
Yeah.
You have to do the full joke.
Mm-hmm.
The other, I'm kind of scared to tell you this.
What?
So this is one that I added just on information that I found rather than taken straight from IMDb.
I'm scared.
Just the year before, another Hunger Games parody movie was released named The Starving Games.
Is it on the list?
It is number 48 on the list.
Oh my God, Michelle. Don't tell me that shit, man. I'm like already on the edge. I'm a woman on the edge and you've just pushed me. What the fuck? That's it. It's another Besmois. I refuse. That's my limit. Number 48 is the episode we never come back. I just couldn't do it.
I wish the listeners could see your physical, visceral reaction. You look like you were genuinely going to get up and leave.
What? And it's lower.
It's lower. It's like half. It's 48. So it's in 40 episodes.
I'm hoping for your sake and mine, but your sake, that when we get to it, it is somehow better than this film. Somehow. It could be a case of, that's funny. Don't you think they should have been swapped?
I know one joke from it that people enjoy, you know, in the same way that superhero movie had like one joke in it that we liked. So, you know, that one's you're gay, but you're the best straight man.
Who's doing that one? Do you know?
It's mine. It's an even number, so it's mine. I got to do both. Does that give you some solace?
Michelle, a little bit. A little bit.
All right.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to shoot the messenger. I appreciate
There's no one else here to shoot. I get it.
So it's fine if I do then.
No.
Okay. Oh.
Okay. You good? You come?
I think so.
You come after that?
Michelle St. Clair, this is your life. This is it.
I know. I've been thinking since I turned 29, I've been thinking a lot about death and the finality of life. That's real.
I'm scared to think what will happen when you turn 30.
I know. I think that's part of why I think when I turn 30, that's when I'll be done contemplating it, and I'll just go like, I am going to die, and that will just be the end. But then I think about it again whenever we do this list, because I'm like, these are the precious hours I have in my life.
Yeah. All the good we could have done. I don't even want to think about tallying up how much work or time we've put into this podcast.
So many hours.
For what reward? Truly.
Well,
for a glimmer of...
Every time when someone sends us something, or even just when it's like encouragement and that they love it, it is worth it.
Or when a stranger recognizes us.
When a stranger recognizes us in public, as has happened multiple times now.
Yeah, it's nice.
Do you want to hear some reviews?
Yeah.
Reviews! Hey, Abby, we're here to brighten people's day. We're sacrificing.
I don't know. Sometimes when I'm feeling shit, it's great to just hear other people be like, I feel shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're providing comfort through our own incredible distress.
Okay, great. Okay, because that was me trying to sing happily there, so I'm glad I don't have to bother. No,
you're good. You're good, baby. Hey, if you're out there struggling, no, it could be worse. You could be watching and then researching and then talking about the Hungover games.
Yeah.
So this is 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. I noted down that's an audience score because there is no critic score.
Yeah.
This is 3.6 on IMDb.
Too high.
I get the feeling that the only reason this has enough reviews at all is that people were thinking about the starving games. The only critic review I could find was Brian Orndorff, writing for Blu-ray.com, gave the film 3 out of 10.
Blu-ray.com?
Yeah.
Never heard of Blu-ray.com.
I go to Blu-ray.com all the time because it'll tell you all the different versions of a Blu-ray that's been released, so then you can compare. So that, things like the Sailor Moon Blu-ray, which when it was originally released by Viz Media, terrible. Awful. They had done a bad upscale of it. But their newer ones, they're so good. They're gorgeous.
Why did you ever doubt you had autism? How did you ever doubt it? Regular user of Blu-ray.com. Fucking idiot.
Do
I? Don't I?
I was talking to on in front of the podcast, Gaten Souza, because we went to go see Anatomy of a Fall the other night. And then there was a point where he made a good trans joke. We went to the bathroom and I was making a joke because we were having a good time.
He slurred you.
He loves to.
You big old beep.
We're about to go to the bathroom, and then because we're having a good time, I joked we got to go to different ones, and he was like, "Oh, you could have solved that," which was pretty funny. He was like, that's your fault. A joke that I normally make.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I've given you and Abby too much power. You know too much about my people. You know too much about how we operate.
We do. But you're always a good sport about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a good sport about it. All right. Here's the first review. Dumb and funny parody movie like the good old days by backup-50362.
What's it a backup of?
I don't know.
It's a burner IMDb review account.
I guess, yeah.
It's probably fucking Tommy Wiseau again on the down low. Wow. Black comedy.
I remember Meet the Spartans. Scary Movie, and all the other parody movies of the early 2000s. Meet the Spartans was not the... Anyway. And this feels like a good one of those from more recent years.
Meet the Spartans was 2008, wasn't it?
That's not the early 2000s.
Exactly. Yeah.
This feels like a good one of those from more recent years. Because it is. Gotta admit, the first time I saw this, I hadn't seen The Hunger Games, so I was lost. But if you're someone who's in touch with pop culture and popular movies, and you have a sense of humor, and most importantly, you know that this is a parody movie, and nothing more or less, you can have a good time.
I'd have to argue that.
I really hope parody movies don't die. Everything is cringy, quote, dark, cancer, and rehashes nowadays.
What?
Taking itself way too seriously. At least parody movies like this is honest about rehashing things and does a good job at being funny and easy to watch. Just have a beer. 10 out of 10.
I guess I can agree with that last sentence. I'd love a beer now.
I would love a beer.
Oh.
I've never wanted a beer more in my life.
I'm doing dry February, but normally I would go home and drink a ton to forget about
no February you're doing?
Yeah, no Fatuary. Yeah.
No fap.
Yes.
No. My brand.
I'm so fucked, Michelle.
Here's the next one, titled I didn't eat any corn. I did. So let me do that again.
My interest fully peaked.
But the I did, it has a full stop.
Okay.
I didn't eat any corn. I did. By Damien Nagasaka. Another Cole Swire review. By the way, I looked up this guy's account. Every single review he's left starts with another Cole Swire review.
Cole Swire?
Yeah. COLE space SWIER.
What is that? Is that him?
I don't know.
His name was Damien Nagasaki.
I don't know. It's rare air when a sequel, let alone a parody, completely eclipses the original.
A sequel?
I can't explain it. I just have to read it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But here stands the exception to the rule. I love me a good comedy, but I haven't laughed this hard since Larry the Cable Guy movie.
What?
The subtlety of the jokes were on point, where I found some I had to explain to my roommate, who I guess is in a fucking coma, as they just went over his head.
He has been in a vegetative state for 3 years, yeah.
As they just went over his head. I thought Tenet would be the highest. Again, I looked at this guy's account. That was the last review he left.
Tenet.
This review is from like 2 weeks ago, by the way. I thought Tenet would be the highest I would ever rate a movie, but the Hungover Games has officially taken over the top spot.
I'm sorry, Tenet is in the Nolan film.
Yes.
And then this and Tenet were the things he juggles between.
Tenet is his two.
What's your favorite film, Damien? Yeah, well, it's between two, actually.
Ain't that right, Kyle? And then we see Kyle and he's like completely he's been dead for weeks. But the Hunger Games has officially taken over the top spot. I personally guarantee you will bust a gut and come back for more.
That's not a phrase. I busted a gut.
I'm gonna bust a gut.
Dude was just thinking of fapping and then like got the word wrong.
So grab your snacks, chicken, am I right? And get a
chicken as a snack? Just chicken?
And get a cool... I can't explain it. I'm just reading
What kind of chicken? He didn't say like chicken nuggets, am I right?
And get a cool drink, kick up your feet, and get ready for an hour and a half of nonstop laughter, 10 out of 10.
I need to read all of his reviews. I've got a bone to pick with this guy.
Good. Here's the last review I have.
Okay.
Maybe I should have saved that one for last. It's called Better Than Expected. A fave phrase we haven't heard for a long time.
Yeah.
Could have been better.
Could have been better.
Paul 51829. A lot of digits in these reviews.
It must be crazy being like the 5,000th Paul.
51,000th Paul.
Yeah.
Well, you got to know that if you're a Paul, you're one of many.
Yeah, that's true.
We are Paul, as we will learn in June 2.
Yeah.
You seen the popcorn bucket?
The popcorn bucket?
The June 2 popcorn fuck bucket?
No, what is that?
I gotta shit. Wait, okay. Listeners, I know we're meant to be doing reviews right now, but Abby has to listen to the June 2 popcorn fuck bucket.
See, unpopular opinion, but I watched the first June recently, and notably I didn't really get into it. And you, me, and Gaiden all had a big argument about this, because I was not a fan and you and Gaiden were definitely fans.
Here's the June 2 popcorn bucket.
It's a flashlight.
Yeah!
and an anus.
And you're meant to stick your arm in it to grab the popcorn.
Look, the sandworm thing in it looks like a big fucking rectum. Who thought this was who signed off on this?
You're going to fist the worm to get your corn.
So many guys are going to take that home. Their mum will be like, do you want to throw it, honey? And they're like, nah.
No
I'm
way.
just going to keep it home
Fist
instead.
the worm for your corn.
What the fuck? Who signed off on this?
Dune 2, more like Dune 2 popcorn pockets. All right, here's Paul 51829's review.
Yeah.
This movie is straight up awesome. Before you watch it, remember, this is a spoof movie. All spoof movies are supposed to be dumb. That is the fun part. You don't have to worry about plot holes, continuity, etc. Just take it at face value and have fun. That being said, this movie did keep all the above together. Love how the main characters had the names of the real actors and look like them to a degree. Especially Zach G. I laughed harder at this movie than any I have seen in a while. 10 out of 10.
Fucking hell.
I love the energy of going like, don't worry about plot holes, continuity. This movie did do those though. It didn't. Not at all.
Don't reckon it did.
So
we're at the end?
Yeah,
wow.
We're at the end. We made it.
-1.
We made
-1.
That's so the new lowest review.
Yes.
Beating my -0.5.
Yeah.
-0.2.
-1. I want this to be on the fucking bottom for what it's put me through today.
I feel bad for Emma. You're going to have to change the coding on the website yet again so that the graph has room. But yeah.
I can't let this stand. I can't. And I'm sorry, Michelle. I know you've basically been facing the brunt of my anger towards this film. It's not your fault. But also you did say, let's do this podcast together with me like 3 years ago. So kind of.
To be fair, you were the one who pitched doing IMDb's worst 250. This sin is both of ours to bear.
I'm going to go home and beat the shit out of myself.
Really, as we learnt last week, the fault is Boss Ward, your child.
Boss Ward.
Boss Ward.
Yeah.
Our child.
Why? We need to go back to a time when Ward could be a first name. Like, there was that famous actor called Ward Bond. What a name.
Are you suggesting that this child is actually Ward Ward?
Yes, I am.
So we've made it canonically. Boss Baby's name is Ward Ward.
Ward Ward, yes. Yeah.
What I want there to be a wiki for this podcast.
The lore is intricate and endless.
Just someone compile a bio.
Someone make a wiki for us. That's what we're asking of anyone that has the time. Sweaties. Is fucking crazy.
Sendies.
Make a rating descending wiki.
That's the name for the fans. They're not honor friends anymore. They're sendies.
We'd literally give you a blowy for it.
Yeah.
Or
you got this. A pussy?
Pussy.
A pussy?
Puss job.
A puss job.
Yeah.
You couldn't think of one. You couldn't say like eating out.
Nah.
A puss job.
But yeah.
People's mothers listen to this.
Yeah. All right. What's your rating?
I think I liked. You may be a gay man, but you're the best straight man we've ever met. And there's the one joke. And there's a bit where there's a weird, awful Leo DiCaprio in Django parody with what feels like a slightly racist version of Django as well. Django shoots him and then he goes flying, making fun of in Django the way that people fly away, which I'm like,
which was fun and camp.
Yeah, it was fun in camp. I think it's cynical to make fun of a fun and enjoyable part of a movie, but I thought that was a fun way to parody it.
Yeah.
So between those, I think each of those, for me, make it 0.1.
0.1. Okay.
0.1. Each of those are like 0.05. So my total score is 0.1 because those were the two things I liked about this movie.
I know I say it all the time, but I still want to formally apologize for giving Taxi a 0 because
you had no idea.
I had no idea how low it was going to go. I want to repair that damage.
Think of all the movies you've given a higher score than Taxi.
Queen Latifah herself.
Jimmy Fallon deserves it, but Queen Latifah, you don't.
No, exactly.
You just had no idea how bad it was going to get.
Yeah, it got really bad. Okay, great. So we both agreed this was a piece of fucking shit.
So, if you enjoyed that, Sometimes we have joy too, and those places are on social media. You can find us on Twitter at RateDescendPod. You can find us on TikTok at RateDescending, or you can email us at RateDescending@gmail.com.
She's doing the cleanup. She's doing the cleanup.
I'm putting in the work, baby.
She is. Or you can find us on our personal accounts. Don't bother finding me, but you can find us on YouTube at Rating Descending.
Or you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Michelle.St. or you could find me on Letterboxd at mstclair. Or two new ones. One is a bunch of friends of mine have released on Crowd Supply a hackable portable music player in the style of the iPod, but with many things that you could like change and hack about it and stuff, called Tangara. You can find it on Crowd Supply /cool/tech-zone /Tangara. You could also just Google Tangara. There's a bunch of articles about it and stuff. I helped make the campaign video for it and stuff, which is cool. That's that's part of how I know them. It's very, very cool. Also, I have plugged many times before Shippers. It is finally out. The first 2 episodes are out now. You can find it on YouTube at Shippers Series. You can also find them talk about it on Instagram at Shippers Series. And also, while you're at it, why not find No Ordinary Love? Same producer as Shippers, except it's her show. Shippers is her show. She produced No Ordinary Love. You can find it on YouTube at No Ordinary Love Series, or you could find Unerased on TikTok at unerased.tv or Instagram at -18youth.
Whoa! And actually, just while we're here, you've just reminded me, I would like to plug one of our guests, who was our guest on Beowulf, Neil Triffett, has come out with a game that he's written called My AI Boyfriend.
Oh, cool.
And it's one of those choose your own adventure things where I played it when he advertised it because it looked really fun, and it was so fucking funny. He posted about it on his Insta, I think. Oh, sure. And if you just Google Neil Triffett, My AI Boyfriend, it is a game that he's written and created, and it's so funny and silly. And you basically you can choose the date that you go on with your AI boyfriend, and there's a lot of like Russian spies and other AI committees that are after you. It's great. It's really fun. So check it out if you have nothing to do today.
Yeah.
And please don't forget to leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. It really makes a difference.
Well, Abby.
Yeah.
That was finally the end of the Hungover Games.
Woohoo!
What are we watching next week?
Next week, we are watching S. Darko. Yeah. A Donnie Darko tale.
I really liked Donnie Darko when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But also I really liked the director's cut, which on reflection I know means that I was just an absolute dork.
Yeah.
And a teenager.
I'm not going to lie, I never had a big Donnie Darko face.
No.
I liked it. I wasn't crazy about it. So I'm interested to see what fucking bullshit sequel someone's pulled out of his ass.
I might rewatch it. I want to reappraise it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, catch us next week, and I hope I'm in a better mood. But I can't guarantee it because the list is just getting worse.
They just get worse every week.
Woohoo!
Yow!
That last year of Rating Descending was really aggressive.
I'm gone.
See you later.